Online harassment begins late September, October 2019. The following days after arriving home were me dealing with the hate accounts made by Raijin targeting me on Instagram saying I was a cheater. Okay, so this makes sense because he always hated the fact that she took pictures and he always called her a narcissist, saying I was a cheater, that I had cheated twice, but then 6 times. He was posting the same screenshots of DMs he had already shown people and just following them on Instagram. The accounts were taken down relatively quickly. He was telling anyone and everyone on social media that I cheated on him and that I was this horrible person. I actually never was told who I cheated on him with. This is very interesting to me because if you're going to claim that someone cheated on you multiple times, yet you haven't named a single person, nowhere in here does it say who? Nowhere on his Twitter, from what I have found. He just says a person. He just says, oh, you cheated on me. Where's the proof? With who? Things like that come with proof, right? You can't just say that someone did something and it become true. I mean, but some people think that is. I actually never told who I cheated on him with and still don't know to this day. I had no idea where this even came from in the first place. There were never any mention of me cheating on him while we were dating. There was no proof, no text strings, photos, anything backing these claims up. Okay, this is very important right here. This is very important. This is literally saying that there's no proof. And trust me, if this guy had any proof whatsoever that she did any of this shit, he would have definitely posted it. Absolutely. But the fact that he didn't, that probably means that it never happened. That probably means that it doesn't exist. If I cheated on him, why not bring it up earlier in the relationship? Don't people confront their partners about this? He even had full access to my phone, knew the passcode and everything, and yet no claims of me cheating. I also want to mention that I was never allowed to even touch his phone. I trusted him regardless and realized that he could have been projecting onto me. This is pretty big because I think that a lot of his issues that he is claiming that Midna has, he actually has, and he's projecting onto her. I couldn't believe he conjured this claim up suddenly and created an extremely false narrative that he broke up with me when he found out that I was a serial cheater and that I deserved to be harassed and my life ruined. Okay, this is the first mention in this entire document. This is the first and only mention so far of who broke up with who. And she doesn't even care. She cares more about the false narrative. Look at the difference here. When mentioned about this, look at the difference. Look at this and then look at this. Stop telling people you broke up with me. I legit was fed up with your shitty personality and horrible presence. I broke up with you face to face. That's how I read it. Every day after there was something new. His friend joined in on the harassment. They doxed my legal first name and last name in Twitch chats, saying I had herpes in the stream chat of the streamer who I spoke to back at TwitchCon and gave me advice at the party. This is actually crazy. He constantly complains about 14's content creators. He is a content creator himself. Now, if you're worried about other people, if you're trying to be spiteful and shit about other people, this just screams jealousy and insecurity. Read this tweet. How many 14 content creators been exposed for heinous shit and everyone turns a blind eye because it's their favorite creator? If you interact with this goofy, you're just as bad. Favorite is in quotes. Now that to me signifies that people like me instead of him. That to me means that he's jealous, he's insecure. Bringing up 14 content creators is another thing. I feel like that he tried to be a 14 content creator, but unfortunately he was unsuccessful. So this means that he's spiteful against the community. Okay, the individual also said in my chat that I people who have money or Twitch partner badge to help them and another partnered streamer I recently made friends with at the con. I don't know how many friends were involved in this harassment scheme, but I dealt with it daily while I was on and off stream. They made numerous accounts and came to my chat saying there were nudes of me being posted on subreddits or my mod had nudes of me, etc., just trying to get my attention. They even created Twitch accounts to follow me while I was live, referencing my mom having breast cancer, that's really f***ed up, using my dad's first plus last name, some kind of slur. Yes, I've reported these accounts many times. Not all of them have been banned. These friends fully supported Raijin in harassing me, and it's disgusting they thought it was okay to do this to someone. Raijin also gave my phone number and address out to people, randomly would get calls during streams or text messages stating I would send nudes in exchange for duoing with them in League of Legends. What? I quickly changed my number to avoid harassment. Jesus Christ. I also had a mutual friend viewer with Raijin. They went by Medic2K9, who was someone I met through streaming. We played a lot of League of Legends together. I had vented a bit to him about what was going on, and he seemed concerned, but I found out he was still in contact with friends with Raijin and was probably relaying everything I said. I banned and blocked him. Then an account with the name FreeMedic2K9 popped in my chat while I was streaming some 14, threatening that someone was going to come to my door and that unfaithful women don't deserve to live. This confirmed he was still in contact with Raijin, because why would Raijin know he randomly got banned? I also later saw him in Raijin's stream chat while he was playing 14. I ended the stream and called the police immediately, letting them know about a death threat most likely coming from Raijin and all the harassment I've been dealing with. If he so freely gave away my legal name and phone number to people, he probably wouldn't hesitate to share my home address either. This is like also up, man. The fact that somebody can be so pitiful, the fact that someone can be such a shit trash human to do this to you, man. I was also follower bot bombed that night, 20k fake follows by someone named The Real Joker, who literally told me my ex Raijin sent him to with me. Okay, the police came to my house. I explained everything that had been going on and they created a report. They also visited his home to get both sides of the story and to essentially tell him to leave me alone. Obviously, he didn't care. The police also referred to an organization that provides support and protection for women who are endangered in any way. This organization seriously recommended I file a restraining order against him. Using the information I had written out during the trip and the harassment I was dealing with at the moment, I took their advice, went to court, and filed for a protection order. The first hearing consisted of setting the actual date, and the judge ordered us to not contact one another. Again, it didn't affect him. Now, typically in cases like this, it doesn't affect the aggressor. The aggressor doesn't care. Like, there's a ton of cases where even though people have a restraining order, like at the end of the day, the restraining order is just a piece of paper. It's not going to stop someone from coming and shooting you in the face. You know what I mean? So like a lot of times in these like aggressor or, harasser situations, they just don't care. They just, okay, the police say don't come, but they do anyway. They still find you. Again, it didn't affect him, and he continued harassing me. I think I contacted local authorities about 3 times about his harassment. I also included evidence he was the one harassing me online. I actually spoke to multiple lawyers about this and was referred to a lawyer who ran a firm nearby. I wanted him to represent me, but his opinion was that I could represent myself. Okay, that's very weird. And that because this wasn't a major issue yet. This happened, 5 years ago? Well, you got to keep in mind, guys, the times are different 5 years ago. Now, if a lawyer would ever say that, I don't know why they're a lawyer. But I will say this, though. I think times are catching up. But in terms of like the law and stuff like that, they're still a little bit behind on internet shit. I guess people my age or older, they don't understand the concept of harassing someone on a Twitch stream. They typically don't. Okay, now obviously some do. Times are getting better. But this was 5 years ago. But no, if a lawyer said that to me, I would never talk to that lawyer again, probably. You never want to represent yourself. And that because this wasn't a major issue yet. I wasn't being physically abused. He felt the judge would take me less seriously if he were there. Okay, I don't know what that. I think a judge would take you less serious if you didn't have a lawyer. But I will say this, though. There are times when this type of abuse gets discarded. There are times where if you're not physically abused, some people just don't give a unfortunately. They just don't care. That is why these people can sometimes get away with this garbage, because they're not actually physically hurting you. They're hurting you mentally. Anyway, I honestly don't know shit about the law, and there was a lot more talked about during the consultation. I probably should have continued my search for a lawyer who would take me more seriously, but I was doing this alone and I was terrified. You also have to remember that each lawyer has, lawyers, they're not doing this for you. Like, maybe he thought that he would lose this case. Maybe he thought that this case would be a waste of time. Maybe she didn't have enough money for the case, okay? If you ever think that lawyers are doing things for you, you are an idiot. They are not. They are not doing things for you. They are doing things to make money. If a lawyer is telling her this shit, it's probably the lawyer telling her that I don't want to take this case. I just wanted to stay in bed and pretend like none of this was happening. Raijin continuously contacted any viewers and creator friends, attempting to slander me and get them to turn on me. Basically, anyone who showed support for me in any way, he targeted. Okay, so this is true. This lines up because of this shit here. So obviously, Tiffany here is, taking pictures with her friends and supporting her friends and shit, and he doesn't like this. So this is lining up. Literally nobody cared to listen. Everyone was well aware of what his intentions were, and they had no reason to be involved in the situation. I really can't imagine the the effort he put in contacting so many people just to talk shit about me. One thing that Raijin will do is he will try to work with other people and conspire against a single person. He tried to do that to me, and he did that to Unit. That is flat out proven. It's actually frightening to know that this kind of obsessive behavior exists and that he is willing to say and do everything to run me off Twitch. I was also a nobody back then. I had maybe 50 viewers and was lucky to make a few $100s a month before the pandemic. When the court date arrived, I was honestly a mess. My parents accompanied me, and while we were waiting to enter the courtroom, they told me Raijin was just staring at me and smiling, almost laughing. I didn't make any eye contact with him. He was about 10 feet away from me, and I just wanted to get away from him. I was sick to my stomach the entire time. I explained the scenario to the judge, all the stalking and harassing he is responsible for. I feel that the law has not yet caught up to technological advances because the judge didn't seem to fully understand the severity of harassment he inflicted, let alone what live streaming was. Yes, like guys, you have to remember, how many of your family members are normies? How many of your family members have no clue what Twitch is? So I want you to take that and I want you to apply that to a bunch of judges, a bunch of lawyers, a bunch of politicians, a bunch of everybody. Basically, what I'm trying to say, people typically my age or older, they don't know what this stuff is, okay? It's very hard for them to understand. So when she says this, I know exactly what she's talking about. I've dealt with some shit that's similar to this. So the judge thought simply blocking someone was enough to stop the harassment. On top of this, it was very easy for him to just deny he was harassing me. It's online after all, and things are easy to get away with, especially in a room where people have literally no idea how the internet works. This is true. He lied to the judge as well, saying he was planning to move to Toronto and that the only thing keeping him here was a legal situation. She basically said I'm in no immediate danger. That is what I believe because there was no physical assault. If he's going to remain in the province and that we could go our separate ways. Again, I explained it didn't work that way and expressed that he was just going to continue along with my concerns. He was sharing sexually explicit content of me to others without my consent. Again, he denied and lied, saying he had no such thing. Okay, well, I believe this 100%. I believe that he is a liar. He was a liar on the groomer allegations that he had towards me. He was a liar in this assault clip. He is a liar. That is who he is. So I believe this. Please keep that detail in mind that he said he had nothing explicit of me. This is already disproven because he literally sent the shit to one of her friends and her mods, according to their statement. He already threatened me online a bunch of times saying there were nudes of me floating around, etc. The court did offer a chance to proceed further with everything since they felt I wasn't in enough immediate physical danger to actually be giving the restraining order immediately. My parents also told me to just stop with the legal stuff and continue ignoring him. Okay, so again, this is probably like old people stuff, but I really wish I would have pressed further and tried to get the restraining order against him. I wish that I would have known Midna at this time. If I would have known Midna at this time, I would have told her to absolutely 100% pursue this. I was extremely stressed, scared, traumatized at the time, and chose to move on. During this time, I had lost a lot of weight from the stress and trauma. I could barely stomach eating because my body was overcome with terror. I dropped to 95 pounds, holy shit, during the height of the harassment. A couple weeks later, he and his friends came to my home while I was streaming at night and specifically egged my stream room and my bedroom windows. I wish we had hard evidence of this. I would be interested to see any type of clip or anything like that. The rest of the house was untouched and it was late enough so they could go unseen, or I wish you would have called the police on this. My dad checked the other homes around the block to see if it was a coincidence, but it wasn't. I'm pretty sure we clipped it on stream, so maybe there's a clip floating around. I had to play it off that it was funny, but I was terrified. Okay. Now he's coming to my house and vandalizing it. He knew the layout of my house and which windows belonged to my room, so that's what he aimed for. Luckily, we were moving out soon, and that was the only instance of him physically coming over. Okay. He actually hung around near my house frequently with his friends because there are some plazas, parks in the area, so I guess they decided to make a detour from the grocery store to my house, which was very close by, and have fun while I was live streaming. Harassment continues. In the following months, years, Raijin made additional attempts to contact me for the sake of harassing me or to insult me. Okay, so again, keep in mind, I just want to be left alone. He also contacted my mods to insult them. He would use any opportunity to message one of us to berate us or try to get my mods to turn on me. Okay, that I believe. He's done that in the past. That's fact. These methods include messaging me on Blizzard Battle.net, League of Legends, also made an account using my real name, calling me a cheap slut, and adding me and other in-game, and even Final Fantasy XIV. He sent me in-game mail stating he had an explicit video of me saved. I'm pretty sure he wanted me to open this during stream so everyone would read it. I had forgotten I had him added in the first place since he wasn't playing, but he transferred from the previous server we were on, Genova, and to my current home, Exodus, whatever. Him and a friend also followed me around in-game and sent me and my mod rude whispers calling me a slut and insulting my dad's small business for whatever reason. He's a barber. Shut up. He's even gone as far as posting about me on a cheater's website using my legal name, saying I had daddy issues, am a gold digger, and all these other nasty things. Again, no mention of abuse. Funnily enough, none of the comments supported his claims and were all bashing him for having a tantrum on the website. Okay, so this seems exactly how he's acting. He hasn't changed. Dude, imagine not growing as a person in 5 years. And that it was clear that he got dumped. So there's a win for me, I guess. Okay. The post is still up. The only way I can take it down is by paying money, which I think is illegal. But I don't know. I'm also not going to post what he wrote because I want to keep my actual name private. Hope you can respect that. Absolutely. He also made a burner Discord account, joined my server, and directly messaged me saying someone was linking something in group chats and that he thought I should know. There was no actual proof of someone linking anything in chat, no names, no actual screenshot of proof, nothing to help me find this person. The only thing he provided was an Imgur link containing an explicit screenshot of me taken during the relationship. It only had 6 views, so it was obvious he just showed some of his friends, had a laugh while concocting this plan. They joined my server. The Discord account was deleted the following day. He was clearly just trying to frighten me or was bored that day and decided to harass me some more. Honestly, I've gotten over the fact that he's shown explicit content without consent. Obviously, I don't want those things to be shared, but I have no control of it unless I have concrete proof. Okay, so this right here is very, very, very important because this shows that she has accepted the fact that, yes, the titties are out there. It sucks, but it is what it is. She also accepts the fact that she has no concrete proof, and she has no control over it. Now, this to me doesn't seem like it would come from a person that would make shit up. Now, that's my opinion. It reflects extremely poorly on him for doing these things. Kind of weird to keep this sort of content of an ex after 3 years of being broken up and possibly having a new girlfriend who probably doesn't know he's using it as a weapon. Well, according to him, he has only had one girlfriend, and it was Midna. The harassment slowed down to just here and there. I assumed he was done trying to hurt me since he started making 14 content on Twitch and YouTube. I'm sure he continued talking shit about me to anyone who would listen. There were only a few creator friends who knew about his harassment because they saw it for themselves when it actually happened. I also informed other friends of his presence and showed them proof of what he had done to me or gave a brief explanation of what happened in the past. He also had a history of harassing my friends in the past, so naturally I let them know. Obviously, those creators banned him. This community is very supportive when it comes to any harassers, trolls, disruptors. We don't want to deal with any toxicity. Nobody does. I can't even imagine the disgusting stuff he says about me behind closed doors. But his Twitter is filled with garbage. But his Twitter is filled, that is 100% true. That is 100% true, bro. Holy shit. Just nonsense. Okay. Most of it references me sleeping around or cheating and really twisted truths, blatant lies, but that's his problem. Even if he denies any of those things are about me, what kind of person obsessively talks about being cheated on? Hypothetically, if any of his lies were true, there is never a valid excuse to harass and stalk someone to the point where they fear for their safety. That's not how a normal person should function. Raijin needs serious help with how he conducts himself towards others, because if he does this to another girl, I don't know how much further he will take the stalking and harassment. Nobody should have to deal with the things I've dealt with for the past year simply because I made a decision to end a relationship. I'm not 100% innocent when it comes to the relationship either. I've made mistakes too. I could have been better. I've learned my lessons and have paid the price for them, but I'm certainly not what he claims. What I am is a victim of harassment and stalking. I've not once spoken to Raijin or retaliated against any of his attempts. I've just reported it and sucked it up. The reports haven't done anything either. He's just happily gotten away with everything. If anything, it just reinforces that he is safe to do as he pleases, as long as he harasses me indirectly or pretends to be other people. The information he has, like the names of my parents, my real name, and certain details about happenings in my life, like my mother having breast cancer, are details only he knew. No one else knows about this stuff online except him. I'm also going to briefly address Raijin's latest accusations, which are sexual assault, and these are completely new stories he has conjured up because no one has listened to him for the past 5 years. Okay. There are extremely serious accusations, and to parade around like a victim. That is exactly what I think he's doing. I think that he is pretending to be a victim because he knows that he is a piece of trash. That's what I think. I think that he is trying to use the, oh, don't believe me because I'm a guy. You go through a traumatic experience. Who types like this? But nobody will care because I'm a man XD. Who types like that in a traumatic experience? Oh, hey, Tiffany. Yeah, just wanted to mention he would get his friends to say shit under my posts the last few months and anything related to Midna. It seems weird if she is such an abuser. He is so addicted to being near her and constantly. Yes, this isn't the actions of a victim. This is the actions of an abuser and a harasser. These are the actions of a pitiful human being. That's what this is. An insecure, jealous human being that had his ego broke and didn't know how to handle it. And 5 years later, he's making up all this garbage. If there was any, like, why are the sexual assault and charges coming out now when there weren't in his initial tweet longer? If they happened, you would put this in here. Why would you exclude that? That doesn't make any sense. He wants to use these words because they're powerful words. That's what I think. This guy also has uploaded videos from Yuna's channel purely out of spite, and she has had to copyright strike this guy. It is extremely disrespectful to those who have experienced these traumas, and I'm so sorry to anyone who has been an actual victim. Okay, so right here, this right here is very powerful. You know, it's really ironic. Where was that? Yeah, good one, bro. You're 22, an adult, talking about being groomed. Why do you want to be a victim so badly? This is his words. Why do you want to be a victim so badly? This has nothing to do with your pick me, men don't get to talk about sexual assault excuse. You are not a victim. Seems like you're a victim trying to make up bullshit. Holy shit. Ain't no way, bro. Absolutely ridiculous. He will spare nothing to try and ruin my life, and that includes making up wild stories with no thought put behind them. He can't even keep track of his own lies at this rate. It's not hard to see through the facade if you just look at how he treats others. A victim does not shit on other victims, and that's what he does on a daily basis. That's all I have for now, and I hope I never have to further update this doc again. I'm very scared putting all of this out into the world. Okay, documented harassment. This contains images of what he has done to me directly and proof that shows he is the aggressor in all of this. Holy shit. Okay, so this is what we want to see. Actual proof.